Hello kids, I'm Priyanka and I'm back again with my new video of Class 8, Chapter 9 English, The Great Stone Phase 1. One afternoon when the sun was going down, a mother and a little boy sat at the door of their cottage talking about the Great Stone Face. एक आफ्टरनून के टाइम में जब सन डाउन हो रहा था, मतलब जब सनसेट होने वाला था, तो एक मदर और उसका जो छोटा बेबी था, छोटा लिटिल बॉय, वो डोर के पास बैठे हुए थे, दरवाजे के पास बैठे हुए थे और वो लोग बातें कर रहे थे ग्रेट स्टोन फेस के बारे में. दे हैड ओनली टू लिफ्ट देयर आइज एंड देयर इट वॉज. वो लोग बात ही कर रहे थे कि जैसे उन्होंने आंखें मतलब अपनी नज़र उठाई, उन्होंने देखा वो ऊपर है. एंड देयर इट वॉज प्लेन टू से थ्रू माइल्स अवे विद द सनशाइन ब्राइट इन ऑल इट्स फीचर. और सनशाइन से उसकी सारी फीचर्स ब्राइट हो रही थी. एंड वॉट वॉज अ ग्रेट स्टोन फेस? द ग्रेट स्टोन फेस वॉज अ वर्क ऑफ नेचर. ग्रेट स्टोन फेस एक वर्क ऑफ नेचर है, फॉर्म जो कि बना हुआ है परपेंडिकुलर साइड ऑफ माउंटेन से by some immense rock, by help of some rocks, which was being thrown together so that we viewed at a proper distance. They assemble the feature of human face. वो reassemble करते हैं एक human face का features. It is the spectator approach too near. He lost the outline of the enormous face and could see only the heap of gigantic rocks. लेकिन अगर कोई उसके बहुत पास जाएगा तो उसको सिर्फ और सिर्फ रॉक्स दिखेगा, वो पूरा फेस उसको नहीं दिख पाएगा. पाइल्ड अप वन अपॉन अनदर बट सीन फ्रॉम अ डिस्टेंस. लेकिन अगर आप दूर से देखोगे तो जो क्लाउड्स है वो क्लस्टर करते हैं उसके बारे में. एंड इट सीम्स लाइक अ ग्रेट स्टोन फेस. सीम पॉजिटिव, बी अलाइव. और एकदम एकदम अलाइव टाइप का लगता है, जैसे कि वो जिंदा हो. It was a belief of many people that the valley owed much of its fertile to being face, and that was continuously beaming over it. A mother and a little boy, as we said earlier, sat at the door of the cottage, gazing at the stone face and was talking about it. The child name was Ernest. जो मम्मी और बेटा उस ग्रेट स्टोन फेस के बारे में बात कर रहे थे, वो जो चाइल्ड है उसका नाम था अर्नेस्ट. Mother, said he, while the great face smiled at me, on me, I wish that it could speak. ऐसा लगता है जैसे वो जो फेस है वो मेरे तरफ देख के स्माइल कर रहा है, काश वो बात भी कर सकता. For it looked so very kind and that his voice must be indeed to be pleasant. वो दिखने में इतना काइंड लगता है तो उसकी वॉइस कितनी प्लीजेंट होती. If I have ever seen a man with such a face, I could love him very much. अगर मुझे कोई भी इसी फेस का कोई इंसान दिखता तो मुझे तो उससे बहुत प्यार होता. If an old prophecy should come to pass, answered his mother, we may see a man sometime which exactly such a face. हम कभी ऐसे इंसान के सामने आ सकते हैं जो exactly ऐसे ही दिखता हो. What prophecy do you mean, dear mother? Eagerly inquired Ernest. Ernest पूछता है क्या prophecy mother? Please मुझे उसके बारे में बताओ. So his mother told him a story that her own mother had told her. तो उसकी मम्मा ने उसके वही स्टोरी बताई जो उसकी मम्मा ने पहले उसे बताई थी. When she herself was younger, जब वो छोटी थी, अर्नेस्ट से भी छोटी, जैसे अर्नेस्ट इतना बड़ा इतनी बड़ी जब वो थी, दैट अ स्मॉल फ्यूचर डे अ चाइल्ड वॉज शुड बी बॉर्न नियर हियर. उसके घर के पास में एक छोटा सा बेबी बॉर्न हुआ था. who was destined to become a greatest and noblest person of his time, जो कि बहुत ही ज़्यादा great और noble person था उस time का. And his face is manhood should bear an exact resemblance to great stone. और उसका face बिल्कुल great stone face की तरह दिखता था. Many still had faith in his old prophecy, but the other took it to be nothing but an idle talk. At all, even the great man of the prophecy had not to be yet appeared. Oh, mother, cried Ernest, clapping his hand above his head. So I do hope that I shall live to see him. तो वो बोलता है कि तो मैं भी उसे देखना चाहता हूँ. His mother was an efficient and thoughtful woman. It was proper, she thought, not to discourage the fanciful hopes of her little child. So Sid said to him, perhaps you may. वो उसकी थॉट्स नहीं तोड़ना चाहती थी तो बोलती शायद तुम देख पाओ. द अर्नेस्ट नेवर फॉरगॉट द स्टोरी ऑफ हिज मदर टोल्ड हिम. अर्नेस्ट उस स्टोरी को कभी नहीं भूला. वो उसके दिमाग में हमेशा रहता था जब भी वो ग्रेट स्टोन फेस को देखता था. ही स्पेंट हिज चाइल्डहुड इन लो कॉटेज वेयर ही वॉज बॉर्न. उसने पूरा लाइफ अपना कॉटेज में बिताया विद अ ड्यूटीफुल मदर एंड हेल्पिंग टू हर इन मैनी थिंग्स. असिस्टिंग हर, उसकी बहुत सारी चीज़ों में हेल्प करता था और वो बहुत ही लविंग था बाय हार्ट. In this manner, from a happy yet often pensive child, he grew up to be the mild and quiet youth. Ernest had no teacher, but the great stone face became one to him. When the work of the day was over, he would gaze at it for hours until he began to imagine that those vast features recognizes him and gave him a smile of kindness and encouragement. About this time, there went a rumor throughout the valley that the great man who was to be bear a semblance to great phones has appeared at last. It seemed that many years before, a young man had left the valley and settled in distant seaport. Gather Gold, which was his name. उसका नाम क्या था? Gather Gold has set up a shopper and being sharp in the business matter had become so very rich that it could have taken him 100 years only to count his wealth. In time he thought of his native valley, he decided to go back there and end his days where he could have been born. उसने सोचा कि मैं अपने बाकी की लाइफ जहाँ बॉर्न किया हूँ वहीं बिताऊँ तो वापस से अपनी गाँव मतलब वापस से अपनी जगह पे वापस आ गया. Ernest had been deeply stirred by the idea that the great man, the noble man, the man of prosperity, after so many ages of delay, was at length to be seen in the native valley. While the boy was still gazing up the valley, one day was imagining the great stone face, returned his gaze. The noise of wheels has heard and a crowd of people cried, "Here comes the great Mr. Gathergold." हर कोई बोलने लगे कि यहाँ आया Gathergold. A carriage drawn by 4 horses dashed round and the turn of the road within it. Thrust partly out of the window appeared the face of an old man with yellow skin. वहाँ से एक आदमी आया जिसकी एकदम ओवर ओल्ड हो चुका था, उसकी स्किन येलो थी. A very image of a great stone face, shouted the people. यही वो इमेज है जो ग्रेट स्टोन फेस की तरह दिखता है. Sure enough, the old prosperous is true. Here we have a great man at last. And what great puzzled Ernest, they seem actually to believe that there was a likeness which they spoke of. He turned away sadly from the wrinkled shade of the pleasant face and gazed up the valley where the stone face seemed to say, "He will come, fear not, Ernest, that man will come." The year went on, the earnest grew to the young man. He attracted little notice to the inhabitant of the valley. They saw nothing remarkable in his way to the life except that when the labor of the day was over, he still loved to gaze that great stone face. Was an idea that this was a folly but pardonable because Ernest was industrious, kind, and neighborly. They did not know that the great stone face has become the teacher to him, and that was sentiment which was expressed in it and largely the young man's heart and fill it with deeper sympathies that than other hearts. They did not know from there this would come a better wisdom than could be learned from books. Neither did Ernest know that the thought which came to him naturally in the field and in the fireside were of the highest tone than those which all men shared with him. A simple soul, simple as when her mother first told him the old story, he believed the marvelous face looking down the valley and still wondered why its human likeness was so long in coming. By the time poor Mr. Gathel was dead and buried, his wealth was the body and the spirit of his existence had disappeared before his death. Since the melting away of his gold, it has been generally agreed that there was no great likeness after all between the ruined merchant and the majestic face upon the mountain. So it so happened that another son of Valley had become a soldier many years before. After a great deal of had fightened, he was now a famous commander. He was known for the battlefield by the name of Blood, Oath, and Thunder. Old and tired one, he had latterly expressed his desire to return to the native valley. The inhabitant, his own neighbors, and their grown up children prepared to welcome the renowned commanders. It was being said that at last likeness of the great stone face had actually appeared. Great therefore was excitement throughout the valley, and many people who had never once thought of glancing a great stone face now spent much time in gazing it, of the sake of knowing exactly how General Blood and Thunder looked. One day of general arrived. Ernest and the other people of the valley left their work and processed to the spot where the great blanket banquet had been prepared. Soldiers stood on guard, the flag waved, and the crowd roared. Ernest was standing too far back to see Blood and Thunder face. However, he could hear several voices. It's the same face exactly, cried one man, dancing for joy. Wonderful, like it. That's a fact, replied another. And that's why not, cried a third. He is the greatest man in of this of any other age beyond a doubt. Ernest at last could see the general face and its same glance to the side. And he could see the great stern face, if there was such a likeness as Crown proclaimed. Ernest's courage not recognize it. Fear not, Ernest, said his heart, as its great stern face was whispering to him. Fear not, Ernest, he will come. And that was all about the story. Thank you.